Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. Today I'm going to tell you about this awesome 2021 Dodge Challenger SRT Scat Pack. It has a 6.4 liter V8, 485 horsepower. The 5.7 liter Hemi makes about 375, I think, so you get about another 100 horsepower when upgrading to the 392 Scat Pack. And honestly, I think for a rear-wheel drive vehicle like this, you know, approaching 500 horsepower is really all you need. You know, you can get higher horsepower. Obviously, you can get higher horsepower versions of close to 800 horsepower, but the thing is, with a rear-wheel drive front-engine vehicle, there's only so much power you can put down to the ground without, you know, racing slick tires. And I think, you know, with 500 horsepower in a vehicle like this here, approaching, you know, the limits of adhesion, I think it's almost, you know, just the traction control system is just going to kick in when you try to put too much throttle down. And then obviously when it gets wet and slippery out, which happens a good part of our lives in the Pacific Northwest, it's going to be even harder to put all that power to the ground. So I think from price point and performance, the RT Scat Pack is a great vehicle to consider. Obviously people do like the higher horsepower versions, the Hellcat, the Demon, but like I said, I've driven lots of these things. This thing has plenty of power. It's plenty fast enough for most people, and it sounds wonderful. And you know, the Dodge Challenger is gonna change. The next Challenger supposedly is gonna be an EV, which is cool. I saw a video of it. It even has a speaker, so it can make some crazy noises, because obviously you want the Challenger to sound good. So, you know, electric cars don't make much noise, so it has a speaker to make some kind of weird, crazy, animalistic, kind of mechanical, electrical noises. You can find it on YouTube. But the thing is that it has to have a speaker to create these, you know, fictional sounds. This, you don't need a speaker to create the fictional sounds. That is 100% real. And another thing that's changing is the Hemi V8s, you know, fuel economy, EVs are all things that are on people's minds. So the Hemi V8 is probably going to go away too. Not probably, it is going to go away, and it's going to be replaced by a Hurricane engine, which is I think it's a turbocharged, supercharged, or maybe both, inline 6. I'm sure it'll be an amazing engine. But the other thing is, if they do decide to make another gas-powered Challenger with that engine, an inline 6 ain't gonna sound like that. And you know, obviously an EV is not gonna have a manual gearbox. And the thing with manual gearbox is, as I'm a manual transmission fan, I've been driving manual transmission vehicles all my life. I've never gotten bored of them. I've daily driven manual transmissions for years. And there's something to be said about having that mechanical connection to the vehicle. It's very satisfying, you know, that perfect gear change, that perfect blip of the throttle, clutch engagement. There's a joy to driving a manual transmission. I think, you know, they are going away, but people are also, you know, concerned, oh, can I go 0 to 60 2/10 of a second faster, you know, with an 8-speed or 10-speed automatic transmission, you know, and that's all great and dandy, but sometimes it's not all about how fast you're going, but it's how much fun you're having and how much joy you are having driving. And for me, when you're driving a performance vehicle with a V8 engine like this, I would just get it with a manual gearbox. Some people can't drive manual gearboxes for, you know, health reasons and disabilities and stuff like that, but you know, if you have no reason not to, you're not going to daily drive and stop and go traffic, get one of these with a manual. It will be a lot more fun. Okay, so this one only has 6,645 miles at the time of making this video. Nice leather wrap steering wheel. I love the gauge clutch. You have analog to the left and right, then you have a digital screen right in the middle. You can pull up different information, lots of different gauges and information in this system. It even has a performance meter. There's engine, dyno, G-force, you even have timers so you can see how fast it goes 0 to 60, 1/8 mile, 1/4 mile. Be careful, I don't want you guys to lose your license. You know, hopefully if you're doing 1/4 mile tests, you're doing it like on a racetrack or someplace off-road. But that just goes to show you, you know, how serious they are about performance with this thing. This thing is a true retro muscle car. And, you know, the thing with the Mustang and the Camaro Alpine sound system, the thing with the Camaro and the Mustang, as much as I love them, I have a love for all cars, the Camaro and the Mustang are smaller and they're nimbler, which makes them a little bit better handling vehicles. You know, when I was reading a review of the Challenger, they're saying, yeah, you know, the Challenger's nice, but it's big, You know, it's not as, you know, it's not a corner carver like the smaller and nimbler Mustang and Camaro, which is true. But you know, having a vehicle for a daily driver, you know, you have a lot more space in the Challenger, because the Challenger is based off a full-size vehicle platform. It's based off the same platform as the Chrysler 300 and Dodge Chargers. And you know, if we go back in time and we look at the muscle cars in the 60s and 70s, they weren't little cars, they were big. So you know, for a retro muscle car, this is more of an accurate representation of what muscle cars used to be. You know, you get in this thing, you have a big wide hood, it's almost empowering. And obviously, you know, you can't hide weight. You're gonna have to pay some disadvantages in handling and stuff like that when you have a bigger vehicle like this, but this is based on a balanced rear-wheel drive platform, actually derived from an early version of the Nissan E-Class when Mercedes and Chrysler were merged. One of the happy, it didn't work out, that merger didn't work out eventually, but this was a happy benefit. The whole Charger, Challenger, Magnum, Chrysler 300 series were all a result of that marriage, and borrowing some parts. So you know, Chrysler got a competent rear-wheel drive platform which they based some amazing vehicles off of. This thing is also comfortable. You know, when you're on a long highway trip, when you're in you know, driving to Portland or something like that, you're spending 2 or 3 hours behind the wheel in a Mustang or Camaro, it's going to be a tight squeeze. Where in this thing, you know, I'm 6'2", you have a nice big interior. It's not as claustrophobic. It's a little bit more pleasant place to commute and daily drive. You know, that's the compromise you're gonna have to make. Maybe if you're looking at the Challenger, the Mustang, and the Camaro, you have to decide what's more important for me. You know, ultimate lightness and nimbleness in corners, or do I want something that's fast but also comfortable to drive? And this thing is very fast. You know, maybe, you know, comparing it to the Camaro and the Mustang if you drive them back to back, but if you get behind the wheel of this thing and go some corners, this thing is fun in the corners, and it's a lot of fun in a straight line. This thing is just a straight line machine. Look at that beautiful, powerful SRT V8, 485 horsepower, 6.4 liters, sounds absolutely heavenly. We have some great promotions going on right now, complimentary delivery to pretty much anywhere, Washington, Oregon, and now we've even added Idaho. We can put this in our car hauler, we can tow it to you. So over our mobile delivery service, this beautiful Challenger can be all yours, potentially without leaving your neighborhood or even your driveway. Contact us for more details, and thanks for taking the time today to watch this video.